What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. Today's gonna be an exciting day because we're gonna install a winch on the Bronco. So I was planning on putting a steel bumper with the spot for the actual winch, like an actual plate for the winch, but then it kind of sticks out, it kind of draws attention. So I'm like, you know what? I saw this rough country one that's a hidden winch. So I decided, hey, let's go ahead and put it underneath, hidden, with a nice sized winch on it. You don't have to go with the rough country winch, you can go with others, but honestly, the rough country winch is the exact size for it to fit perfectly. I mean, I looked at Smittybilt, I looked at Badlands, I looked at the Warren. A lot of them are a little bit wider and a little bit thicker, so it makes it hard for it to fit exactly where it needs to fit. So I was like, well, I'll just go with the rough country. I mean, it has decent reviews. The only thing is that there's two versions of this. There's the 12,000 pound, there's the 85 or 9,500 pounds. I think I went with the 85 or 95. I'm about to open it up and see exactly what size it is. I forgot which one it is. All right, so let's get into it now. Let's open it up. All right, guys, so it is a 9,500, so 9,500 pounds of power it has, which should be plenty for the Bronco itself. Comes with the remote, the negative wire, or I will say the positive wire is nice and long also. The mounting hardware, the actual hook latch, a fairly, and a little like strap to kind of pull this whenever you want to haul it around. And decent instructions. I mean, there's not really much to the instructions here. It kind of tells you how to connect it, and it's basically this wire goes to the negative, this goes to the positive, and you're ready to go as long as this plugs in here. All right, so now the mounting plate. This is the actual plate to hold it in. Never mind, that's empty. That's empty too. All right, so this is everything here that I'm gonna probably use. Everything from the mounting, the side mounts, what holds the fairly, and the part. It's kind of a skid plate also, and then like a little cover for that little lip in the front. I'm not sure if we'll use these. I don't remember. Here's some mounting hardware that comes with it. I know we'll use some of that. And then this is that little extension that's going to be plugged into here. All right, and then this here we won't use because this is if you have to move the controllers over. This is if you have a modular bumper, which I'm going to save these because I think the plan is to get some better bumper, and I don't know if I'll need these later. And then this is a pretty cool thing right here also. This goes underneath if you have the V6 version that you need to move the intercooler over, the oil intercooler. So this is pretty solid material here. All right, let's see if we can start putting this thing together now. All right, this is going to be a video specifically for this Bronco, which is a plastic bumper. Again, if you have a modular bumper, the procedure might be a little bit different. If you have a V6, it'd be a little bit different. This is 4-cylinder and the plastic bumper. All right, we're going to start by removing the plastic cover right here. That plastic cover. So these are 15 millimeters. You got 4 of these. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got 2 back here. 5, 6. Okay, so you do have to remove these 2 crash bumps from the frame. Okay, so I got a cutting disc, and again, I'm just gonna try to cut right there, right on it. I'm gonna wedge a piece of wood here just to kind of protect that, so I only cut the actual metal. Alright guys, here just a reminder, do wear safety glasses when you're doing this, and don't keep your phone anywhere close to where the sparks fly, because it could damage the screen. Don't ask me how I know this. And then gloves might be a good idea also. Wear gloves, don't be like me. Alright, so cut this out on 3 sides, and I just banged it back and forth, up and down a little bit, and then the top it has a little weld on top, like that. It just snaps off, okay? Same thing on this side. Banged it both up and down, cut all the way around. This one was a little harder to get to some of these. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just trying to be too careful. I don't know. The same thing, the top eventually comes off. And this section right here, because this bracket here kind of extends over the frame part here, you have to cut this little edge off. This is something that should be done just carefully, slowly, because the wheel will jerk back at you. Okay, so this little piece came out, still a little warm, and this is very thick, right? So you really have to slowly cut through the whole thing, and then eventually just bang it up and down, and it also snaps off. I'm gonna use a grinder now. I'm just gonna grind all these little edges off, and then we're gonna spray it with some paint. This is something that you should also do carefully. You don't want to damage any of the bolts or wires that are around here. Okay, so I grinded out all the rough edges all the way around there, and that one too. And then I taped up some of the bolts because I didn't want them to be painted. I just taped them up a little bit and then painted the cut part with some this. Now this is probably not the kind you want to use, but this is Rust-Oleum, protects from rust. This is just a high heat specifically for this. But hey, this is what I had lying around. I forgot to buy one today, so I went with this. Okay, so while the paint dries up over there, we're going to go ahead and put the actual mount together. The way this goes is, actually, I think it only goes one way. But you see the bolts kind of line up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you want this to be facing, the angle to be facing back this way, away from the mounting, because this is what mounts into the actual frame. Okay? Okay, so these go on the inside. I had them on the outside, but these go on the inside. And it kind of makes better sense, right? All right, so these are 19 millimeters and these are 18 millimeters. They're 12, I think they're 12 millimeter thread. All right, so you're gonna have 118 and 118 and 119 to put both of these together. We're gonna do 6 on each side with washers. So that's, you see there's 12 of these, right? And then this is for the rest of the hardware. So we'll mess with this in a bit. Right, so these are on now super tight. You want to put the bolts on the inside of these. Now you can flip these out and put them on the outside, but it's going to interfere with this one right here. I think that's the only one that it interferes with. And then on the bottom you might have just more sticking out underneath, so we probably don't want that. All on the inside makes it easier, and that's another reason to go with the rough country winch, because it fits in here perfect. Other winches you might have to turn some of this around or get some different bolts or put them in different, I don't know, but this works. Okay, so we're ready for the winch now. Before you actually put it in here, it's probably a good idea to connect the negative wire here, even if it's just kind of hanging around just like this one is to the side. That way you're not trying to, because it's facing, I don't know why they put it on the bottom, but it's on the bottom side of this. Go ahead and put the negative in here. And don't mess with this negative, leave this one alone. That one, I'm guessing that needs to be there still. Okay, so I'm just going to connect the negative wire here, like I said. Leave this here, don't mess with this. This is a 13 millimeter. I'm just going to tighten this up with the ratchet. Here it is. Oh, I got it. I did bring the ratchet. I was ready. Now we can lay this thing back down. This out of the way here. All right, we're going to slide these little bolts in here. So now from the hardware of the winch itself, not the winch mount. All right, so now we're going to use these 4 again to slide in here. Then on the outside you're going to use the actual bolt with the lock nut washer, then the washer. Okay, so it'll be like this. And in here. Sorry, in there, right? One more thing. Oh yeah, and these are 16. Okay, so let's do that. Slide this. Just slide right in there. I have to play with it a little bit to get it in. Let's go ahead and put all these 4. These can pretty much go all the way in, although once you start putting the bolt in there, they'll slide into place a little bit. Okay, so let's try doing it upside down, see how that works. Now again, don't forget to put this in here, it makes everything easier. All right, so I'm going to move this over as far to the edge as possible, just because See, there's more room on this side and this side. I mean, it's barely. This is another reason why I went with the rough country one, because I knew it was going to be a tight fit. This side's fine. All right, you got this sucker in tight. Again, I moved it all the way to the right. I don't know if it's the best thing to do or not, but it just feel like it just gives me a little more space there, right? All right, so we got the negative going this way. We got the positive on this side. I did go ahead and cut this thing off just because it's going to be off like this, and I don't want it dangling in here. So cut it out. We don't need this in here. Again, it's going to have the other plug in here that's going to hold it. All right, you see where I just cut it in the very bottom. All right, so these plastic covers, these just pop off. Now we can remove this here. Should be a 15 millimeter. Yep. So 15 millimeter. You got 1 and 2 on each side. If you notice the back of it, you probably don't have to remove the whole thing. Just move it some, and then it slides out. The main thing we're trying to do is lower this here so we can put an adapter in it, and we're gonna bolt the whole thing using this here too. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove. I like to put bolts back where they were, but I think it's time to remove these, put them to the side. Okay, so now it's time to get into the other bag of the mounting plate, not the winch part. This came with the mounting plate. And you have all these little accessories or things that come with it, but we're not gonna use most of this. We're going to use these, and these spaces what we need now, because these go underneath the intercooler to give it a little space for it to mount in. I'll show you that in a bit. Okay, so these are out, and if you see this plate here, this kind of goes into here to hold the intercooler up. We're going to remove this thing. Oh, just switch. This thing's all loose, but remove it here. Like that, the whole thing falls down. We're gonna put the spacer on here, right? And we're gonna put it right back. This just gives it a little more gap so it slides. It just lowers it a little bit so it goes into the bracket. That's all it does. All right. All right, we're gonna use these here with this. One on each side. Getting these ready here. We're gonna slide now the jack over to lift it in, to lift the whole winch and plate in, and then slowly we're gonna insert these in here to bolt them in using these with washer. And these are 16s. Dang it. Okay, so on the passenger side, this bolt right here is in. Again, you just kind of feed this right through here and slide it in. Just snug it tight, not so tight. I ended up putting a bolt over here just to kind of hold it in also, just a little bit. Let me grab the other side now. Okay, this one we have to push back. All right, we are in here. It is in. So I had a bit of a issue because I feel like the plate itself was about a 1/4 inch too narrow. So I tried to widen it up and it wouldn't work. So I ended up just loosening up all these bolts. Even the bolts, even these here, these already haven't tightened up yet either. I loosened them all up and I was able to kind of push the frame, this plate here over, just like 1/8 of an inch on this side, 1/8 of an inch on this side, and it ended up bolted these down. These here, these have to be towed down to about 35 to 40 pounds. Actually, I think it's 45 pounds, something like that, about 40 pounds. But yeah, these were very tight, and it makes sense because this is your anchor point. This is an actual hook here. Same thing on this side. So I ended up doing both sides of these, tightened them down real tight, and then went back and tightened all these back up again. Okay, so now it's time to run these wires up to the top. I'm gonna cut this out here, and then also connect it here and run that up. Okay, so now from the engine itself, you can see the winch right there. You see it? There it is. So I don't want it to come straight up. Okay, so I don't want it to interfere with the belts here or with the fan on this side. I kind of want it to be around things. So I might try to see if I can follow this here to the side and then back up towards the battery. Okay, so I brought the wires up through here. I zip tied them here along like with these cables that are here. Make sure you snip these extensions. You don't want this hanging around here, right? I put another one on this side. I made it go underneath and out the back right there, another zip tie, and then they both come out on this side. So I was gonna put one on positive and one like on the ground, but the instructions really say to put it on the battery, so I'm gonna put it on the battery, make it direct, just in case. Okay, and then on this side, we have the controller that goes up this way. I think I'm gonna put the controller somewhere like around here. So yeah, I don't know exactly, but I'll put it somewhere around here. All right, man, that sun is hitting like right there. But I'm gonna remove this tabs here, all these, and see if I can find a good place to put the connection here. There's space. About to see. Okay, so I think there's 9 clips on here, and I pretty much have them all done except for one. So these can be a little tricky, but if you look at it, there's one edge that kind of sticks out. You can kind of get in there. And once you get in there, that part pops out. Then you got to get under the whole thing, or you can just remove that itself. Oh, come on, by the way. And then the rest of it will just pop right out. Again, just gonna have to play with it. Awesome. Right, so again, I think there was 9 of them. Okay, so here's the idea. So I took it off. I kind of put it back on. I'm either gonna make this thing. Sorry, I got cut right here. Either come out through here, right? So it faces this way, or come out the back. I think the back would be easier because there's a lip right here, and you can just slide it in. On this side, it might be a little harder because there's not a way for me to connect it straight. Okay, so I just made a hole with this right here, and it's just a little bit bigger than this clip right here. Like it fits in here pretty well. So I'm gonna try to see if I can do the whole thing, like put the whole thing in there. Sorry, that's kind of nasty. I have blood right there, but. All right, so the hole is made, screwed it in there. I think it fits perfect right there. It's out of the way. You can still kind of see it because it sticks out a little bit. If I tell somebody, hey, it's right next to the air filter, okay, it's right there. Or the intake, the actual air box, whatever that's called. Now we got to put all the clips back in and then go ahead and plug it in and test it. Okay, one thing about the inside here, if you need to, you can, well, I can reach my hand in there and turn the clutch here to release it so it'll just pull out easy. I saw some people do like an extension bar to turn it, and it's not a bad idea because it kind of goes straight down, so the bar would be like right here. You just have to find something to kind of hold it in so it doesn't affect anything. I mean, there's some, ooh, that's hot. There's some bolts here that you could actually tie to it. So main thing is you don't want it to be moving around and hitting any of this. So either it comes straight up or be removable, right? You can just remove it, put it up there somewhere or in the back somewhere, and then use it only when you need to. But yep. All right, guys, connected it up. Out. Nice. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put together the bash plate, skid plate with Fairly, and it has this little like cover on here, so we're gonna go see about installing that. It just uses these. These are Allen wrench, and these are 10 millimeters. Right? This is 5 of them. Okay, so we're just gonna do this, tighten these up. These are the same 15 millimeters that we did in the beginning. All right, so I had to pull this out, right? We're going to install now the Fairly. Make sure you put it through here first. Like that. And then some bolts right through it. And these use the little Allen wrench ones. Okay, so we got the rough country hook that came with this, right? It's nice, good, strong. But I also ordered one of these. These look cooler and it's a little more undercover. The idea of having a hidden winch is that it's hidden, right? The only thing is that it has special, I don't know if I have pliers to pull that out. I have to look and see. All right, everything back together. Can you even tell it's there? Can't, especially with license plate right there. Can't really see it, right? But it's there. That's what a hidden winch is. Tell me what you think. Like it? I have a bumper already ordered, so I'm putting a new bumper on here. I don't know what I'm gonna do with license plate, if it's gonna be there a little higher. I don't know yet. Let's see where the bumper gets here and see how we put it together. But coming along. All right, guys, so little by little, we're just adding some stuff to the Bronco, making it a little bit more capable. I do have an off-road adventure we're gonna go on just for a day, just to go see something. We have somewhere to be, and we're gonna record while we're there and go off-roading, maybe into some water, just depending on the weather, but more to come soon. So bumper coming, off-road adventure coming, and maybe some lights for the bumpers, maybe some better lights here on for the ditch lights, and maybe something up here also. We'll see where it goes, but don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out some of the other videos that I've already done on the Bronco. And dose.